Still no part. Hasn't showed up. What's going on? So now, if it hasn't got here yet, this part, it probably won't get here today at all. Now we're down another day. Okay, I just called the dealer. The part is in. Finally, it came in. So they're gonna get a guy out right away here to put her back together. And I think the guy they're sending is the combine guy. Okay. Sassy Massey's back together, boys. She's all back together. Here's the $1,900 part. We put her back together, kicked her in. The mechanic that was here is the combine guy. He's been working on these things for years and years. He said it sounds smooth, everything should be good. It might have broke because the first time the bearing went, it weakened that little stub shaft or whatever, and then he ran it, he didn't notice that it was cracked, maybe weakened. And then when you put the new bearing on, the heck, is it raining again? Yeah, look, it's starting to rain. Well, for frick's sakes. The sun's starting to finally come out, and yet it's raining. Just a cloud over top of us, that shouldn't add up to a whole bunch. But anyway, yeah, we kicked her in, it sounds good, so. Now the waiting game. We just gotta wait for this weather to warm up some more this afternoon, hopefully. Get that sun out, and we should be thrashing this afternoon. There we go. Oh, that sun feels nice. So yeah, hopefully the old girl will be good, and we'll get these next 2 quarters off without any major breakdowns. I'm sure that straw chopper is gonna crack again. I got a feeling we'll be welding that daily, but if that's what I got to do to finish, I will. And then decide what I'm going to do with it later on after harvest is done. But, come on, rain, really? Just, like, it's not even really a cloud, it's just, anyway. Okay, well, I don't know, we could get it to the next field right now, though. We could move. Yeah, we could move stuff over to the next field, I suppose, while we're waiting for this weather to smarten up. Because there's a few miles, the next field's a few miles away, so it'll take a little bit jogging back and forth to get the equipment over the combine, the peat. Oh, and the service truck, of course, but anyway. I see that sun's... There we go, it's blue sky. That cloud took off. It was spitting there earlier. I was just thinking, when I harrowed this over at the dugout, when I seeded it, I had to seed kind of way around the dugout because it was too wet. But then, of course, come fall time, it's all dried up right around the dugout. Even the dugout itself's, quite a bit low. And when I seeded around that, I totally forgot to tell the young guy when he was combining, combine right through that stuff that was around the dugout, like right around the dirt pile. There's some taller weeds and grass, kind of patches of canola here and there. I forgot to tell him to combine right through that stuff like it's just like the crop, so that if it's dry next spring, I can seed right through that without any trouble. So why don't we fire up the old Massey? That'll be a good test for it. Kick her in and just go chop that stuff up. I harrowed right through it, so it's kind of, laid down a little bit, but we'll just cut real low and there's no rocks there. So cut that real low, chop that stuff up so that if it is dry next spring, I can seed right through it with no trouble. And then that'll tell us if it's dry enough or not. It should tell us if it's dry enough to combine or not. I don't think it quite will be yet, because the sun just come out the last couple minutes here, so. But we can zip over there, chop that stuff up real quick, make sure the combine's ready to rock and roll before we get our hopes up and move to that next field and we're still broke down and don't even know it. So yeah, let's do that. I'll fire it up. We'll let her run for a few minutes here, and then we'll go chop that stuff. And then nobody's around right now to help me move to the next field, so we might have to use the old king quad trick this time. Shuttle it back and forth with the pickup and then do it that way. But I'll fire this thing up right now. Yeah, just this right here. I probably would be able to seed through it next spring if it's dry enough. But we'll just chop it up real quick, run it through the combine. Combine's working pretty good here, so we might be able to start thrashing here by the time we get moved to that next field. I'll have to run back to the farm, get the other truck. Probably have to use the Duramax to shuttle the quad back and forth. But we'll do it that way to get moved and then see if we can start combining here. Well, we're at this next field, right here. So I brought the ramps so we can load the quad and unload the quad with ease. So I wasn't sure if there was a dirt pile or any kind of a ditch or anything to back into around here, and I don't think there is. So we'll fold down the tailgate, set the ramps up, and back the quad off. We'll leave it right here somewhere, go get the combine next. Combine a little spot right at the entrance for now. If it's that wet and not even going through the combine, we'll just go straight in, park the Pete straight, you know what I mean? Just enough to get it in the field and call her good. But yeah, this should work. We could just about walk back to that other field where the combine is, but it's a little too far to walk. Be good exercise, I guess. But I kind of wanted to do a little quadding today and get some work done at the same time. So we'll do it this way. Okay, she's unloaded. Let's go grab the combine. Man. Once again, there's like no wind right now. That's gonna just take that much longer to dry up that canola. Good thing it's standing. That's one nice thing about straight cutting canola. It dries out quick. Well, anything standing dries out quick, but I thought it was supposed to be a little breezy today, like a slight breeze at least. There's like nothing. Anyway. Okay, let's see if she goes through the combine at all. I sure hope so. We can at least start going slowly. Yeah, I think it's going through. Well, I gotta slow them reels down from when I was cutting that slough grass. Yeah, I think we might be able to start combining finally. She's going through. There's even a little bit of dust actually. Huh. Okay, we got a spot cut out here. We'll go do a little quad. How's this stuff? It's not even that wet, actually. How's that straw chopper? Cracked up already? Yeah. Oh no, that's just a... Not yet, but it will. I'm almost certain by the end of the day she'll be cracked again. But I think we should go grab the peat. Forget how many acres are here. 120 something. I'd call it 130, I guess. It's hard to tell. There's some sloughs that I can never remember how much I seeded of it, you know what I mean? You went around and whatever, it's, yeah. But lots of room for the peat right along there. We'll grab the peat. And wait, how are we gonna do this? No, we gotta zip to the field, load the quad back in the Duramax, bring the quad back first, then, no, wait, how do we do this? Yeah, bring the quad back first, then drive the Duramax back to the field, or the quad, whatever, either way. Then bring the peat, so we got wheels back to get the service truck, you know what I mean? All right, we're there. Just like that, we're loaded. Take the quad back. Oh, come on. Now we'll fire up the peat. And then let this thing warm up and air up. When we go back and drop the quad off. There, we'll leave the ramp set up. We get back with the King quad, load her in a Duramax, and then we can go back to the farm, unload the quad out of the Duramax, park the quad, park the Duramax, jump in the service truck, head back to the field and start combining finally. Woo! Well, we're back at this field. Jump on the old King quad. Do a little more quadding. All right. Get this thing back to the yard. We'll go back out to the field in the service truck. Well, there. We are moved. Now, if we had another Pete in the grain trailer, that would have been 2 more trips with the quad, right? But let's go combine. Well, we got lots of diesel. Even though this stuff was flowing through the combine quite well, it wasn't banging around the combine. What's it feel like? Oh yeah, it's pretty dry. Even the bottom part of the stems are starting to dry up. Look at that. But this was sprayed September 2nd. The next field we're going to after this one was sprayed September 3rd. So it's been a friggin' month since it's been sprayed. So, I mean, it should be, like, it's still green. Look at that. I just can't believe that. And it's so backwards to me. You know, some of you guys have said drought-stricken canola does not die very well by spraying, can't even talk, when you spray it with Roundup. Well, so you're telling me it hardly grows when it's dry because there's no moisture, but it doesn't want to die because there's no moisture? I don't get it. Is it because when you spray it with the chemical, there's not enough moisture in the plant to suck that chemical up, or what is it? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how many times I've talked about it throughout harvest this season. You guys are sick of it probably, but I'm sick of looking at these green stems after a month. But I think it'll flow through the combine better now. Grab my lunch. Let's go combine. So one thing I noticed with this, the old Massey hydro lever controls and all that, this is way more comfortable. But you see how they got that bend in it there, and your hand is it just feels more natural, right? But I think it's because there's only like 4 buttons on the whole thing. Well, there's a few buttons, but just the way it's laid out, I don't know. That case 9250 was straight up and down, and to move from this button over to here, it almost felt kind of awkward to run your reels, but at the same time you're not running the header. Just the auto header heights fall on the ground with the buddy wheels and flex header and all that. You were just running the reels basically with this, and then the hydro. But I just found it was uncomfortable at first. But by the end of the second day there, I got used to kind of using this part of your thumb instead of the tip. You know what I mean? And press the button like this. The buttons were just situated a little different. It sounds stupid, I know, but by the end of the second day I was used to it. It wasn't awkward or anything. It was just, yeah, just different. But this is just, to me, comfortable, naturally comfortable. I don't know. I mean, I could get used to that case quite easily, but it's a little tidbit for you. And we're thrashing. Feels good. But I gotta tell you guys, I'm just cringing running this thing now. I know it's a bad attitude, way to think of it, whatever. But I'm just waiting for it to break down again, and it's just, I think it's at, like, look at that, how many hours on it? 3,000 whatever engine, 2,159 thrashing hours. Not a lot for that year of a combine, I don't think. I think it's an 06. But it's just, I don't know. Massey stuff that seems to be built light, so it's just falling apart. Not falling apart, but just it's going to start costing money, right? Things get wore, and it's just the way it is. So you couple all those things together with the slow, well, it's a little bit too slow there, but 2 mile an hour combining speed is just, it's too slow to me. I don't know why it seems so slow, but even 2.5 seems so much faster. And then once you're doing 3.5, it feels like you're just flying. And then like, well, I mean, this thing in the wheat was doing good, but it's because it was a 40 bushel wheat crop. You get into that 60, 70 bushel wheat, and then you're slowed right down to the 2.5 to 3 there. So with the repairs it's going to need some money into it before next year, that's for sure. We all know that. The slow speed in canola, this isn't even that good of a canola crop, 40 bushel-ish. Between that and the hours on it, whoa! Holy frick, we better go take a test of this stuff before we get too carried away here. Son of a crap. Totally forgot about it. I didn't even think of checking the moisture on the seed. I assumed it'd be good to go. Well, we'll do one hopper, I guess. Get a sample out of that hopper and see what it's testing, I guess. It's gotta be close enough, no? Maybe not. Maybe the seed is that wet. Yeah, but frick, all we got was a tenth of rain and some dew. That moisture meter's got to be out to lunch or something. It's so weird, you guys. Like 2.1 feels too slow, but yet when I had that 9250 demo, 3.5 almost felt too fast. Like I almost had a hard time keeping the hydro stick right at 3.5. You know what I mean? Just because it felt like I was going way too fast in the canola. But just, I guess, you know, more capacity of a combine and whatever, so it was able to do it. But I don't know. If I have to run this thing next season, I will. But I'm going to be looking pretty hard, like pretty serious for a Case combine for next season, put it that way. But if I can't find the right deal, I will run this old girl again. So we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I'm gonna kick the unload auger in, run up there with a bag, grab a sample as it's unloading, and see what the heck's going on here. I don't know why it can't be that tough, can it? We didn't get that much friggin' rain. I don't know. We'll see what the 919 says after I get a sample here. Okay, she's 24 degrees, got 250 grams. Ooh. Well, we're going the right way in the dial, but no, it's not dry. We got to get that needle as far left as possible. Call it right there, I guess. Call it 48 and 24. That's not even on the right page. Son of a gun, we're not dry. Well, frick, now we got to wait some more. What was it, 48? Yeah, 48 and 24 degrees. Okay, that's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. 11.4. Yeah, 11.4. So, really, it'll come down 1.5 pretty quick since it was under dry to start with, fully cured and all that before. It got that tiny bit of rain on it and just dew. We could probably, there's a stereo in here. We could probably just keep going. 11.4. It takes friggin' 5.5 hours, 6 hours to fill that truck. With the sun being out this long, with the sun being out now, it's not going to take long for that canola to dry, you know what I mean? So, we could probably go back and just keep slowly going, sort of thing. What do you think? One thing I totally forgot about was the stagger and harrows at that other field. We should have moved it to the next field as well, because I'm done with the harrows at the field it's at now. I didn't even think of that. I'm not going to load the quad or nothing now. The wife will be off work soon. We'll just go back out there, combine a little bit. When the wife gets off work, she'll pick me up, run me back to that field. We'll get the stagger and harrows to that next one. We'll just slowly dick around today, whatever. I should actually do another drop or so with the drop pan there. I can't remember if 2.5 mile an hour is throwing it way over, or is 2.5 not really a whole bunch more throw over. I don't even remember, you guys. I just remember doing drop after drop after drop, and I couldn't really get it under a bushel. I'm tempted to do a drop this evening here, or afternoon I should say. That's what we could do. We could go back, do a drop or so, see what it's showing now, since it's not so green anymore, the green stems. Maybe it'll be better, I don't know. See if we can dick with that old Massey a little bit more, and since it is a little bit tough. And then by that time the wife will be off work, blah blah blah, and get that tractor and harrows. Didn't even think of that when I had the quad back and forth. Should have done that then, but oh well. Yeah, let's do a drop. Oh, there's that breeze. Let's do a drop. See what's what with that drop pan now. I'm hoping it'll be better since this stuff isn't so green anymore. I don't know. What the hell's this? Are you kidding? It already cracked. Yeah, that's a crack, isn't it? After 2 passes, she's cracked again. Look. I think it's cracking right up here. Holy frick, this thing. I'm sure that's a crack. Yeah, it's nice flat ground right here. We'll combine our way back that way to do more of the headland sort of thing. And then we'll do a drop right as soon as we get going kind of thing, right where it's nice and level. And just see what we're throwing over now. See if it's changed or any better or what. Drop pan is on. Got the remote. We'll hit the off button once we start combining. All right. Get that stuff out of the... Yeah, it's still pretty green. Wow. Can't believe that. Pretty green for being sprayed a month. That was at 2.1 miles an hour, that drop. See what we got. Okay, well that's what we got. That looks pretty reasonable. See what the gauge says. Under 25, beauty. And that was at 2.1. Not in a low spot though, it's kind of on top of a hill, so well, I'm definitely happy with that. Down in the low spots. Hopefully it's not throwing over too much past 30. And we'll just keep doing what we're doing, 2 mile an hour. That's good. Well, let's keep going, I guess. I'll just walk into the truck to put the drop pan back into the service truck, but look at these cracks. Look how big these cracks are in this heavy soil here. Look at that. I'll get my whole hand down in there pretty well. You drop a wrench down there, she's gone. So when you got cracks like that, that's why we heavy harrow. Helps seal up all those cracks. Sort of, you know, keep that moisture in the spring there. And this is probably the heaviest soil we got out of our land, but Whereas down at the in-laws there, it doesn't crack up like this because it's so sandy, I would assume. So I often wonder if harrowing's a waste of time down at the in-laws. That, like, unless you got a really heavy crop, you got to spread that straw around more. But normally in that sand, you don't get a heavy crop. Even on a good year, that sand just won't produce, it seems like. So, yeah, I don't know. The sprayer tracks, though, is the problem. It's nice to zip through those sprayer tracks. Even in the sand on a good year, it will grow a decent crop down in the low spots where those sprayer tracks. I guess a guy could maybe start spraying at an angle a bit. Because down there, those fields, I see them east and west, no matter if it's canola, wheat, whatever. It's the same east and west no matter what. So maybe I should start spraying it at an angle or crosswise or something so that you're not seeding with the sprayer tracks, you know what I mean? I guess the outside round, you're still kind of hooped there. I don't know. But I mean, harrowing doesn't cost a whole lot of money. A little bit of diesel, I guess. Time. But look at these cracks. Look at that. Look how big that is. That's got to be 2 inches. Holy frick. It's dry. Okay, well, I'm going to set her back to chop straw and try to pick up this swath. It picks it up good enough. Man, if that straw chopper keeps cracking out like that, I'll end up dropping straw and just baling it. Take the belt off the chopper and run it that way. That is an option if we had to finish up this year, you know, without spending any money on it and wasting time fixing it, just, you know, to chop straw. Well, look at that, it almost plugged here. It stopped coming and then it finally dropped all the way down here. Wow. So maybe dropping straw won't really work that good. Get down in those low spots and without that straw chopper pulling it down, you know what I mean? It might not really drop very good. Man, this is going to be a fight, I can just tell. These last 2 quarters are going to be a fight right to the end. Okay, switch it to chop, pick this up and keep going. Okay, I just got a hopper off. Wife's here now. We'll back, grab the stagger and harrows, bring it here, and then try to do another hopper tonight maybe. By that time the sun will be down. I had to go around this outside round over here now and around a big slough, so might get pretty tough down there. We'll see. Well, that's that. Everything is now in this field. Let's go look at that straw chopper. Look at the drum itself. Maybe it's missing a blade or two. Like, I think I got a comment. Was it this morning or yesterday or something? Somebody saying, I think your straw chopper itself's way out of balance, causing all that vibration, which in turn is making it crack up like that. And the guy could be right. By eye, it looks fine, but something's out of balance there. I don't know. Let's go take a look at it here. Okay. Now we got to make sure it's deceiving because some of them get stuck up like that. And it looks like one of them's missing, but it's not. Holy, these are worn right out. These were brand new last year at the start of last season. Huh. Okay, well, let's give her a flip here. Oh, come on. They're all good there. Oh, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. It's awkward. No, that's all good. It sure spins easy anyway. Oh man. No, I think they're all there. There's none missing. It's just caked up with all that green stuff. Look at that. Like there's a coating on it. I think, like look at, you can see this stuff here. It's caked up here. Right? So like here don't matter because that's just on the sidewall, but when it's caked up on the drum itself, it's adding that weight, and maybe that weight is uneven, you know, it's caked up on the bolts here. And if it's not even, it's going to throw it out of balance. I don't know, I think that's what's going on, or part of the reason. I don't know. But the blades are all there. There's none, you know, like half broke off or missing or anything. So that way it's good. This bearing was replaced. I don't know. It sure looks like a crack to me. Yeah, sure it is. No, that's just the tape. Or there's like a sticker there or something. Yeah, no, that's not cracked. Here, this way might be easier to look. Instead of jamming your head underneath there. But yeah, like when it's all caked up in that stuff, man, I can't believe how that's worn that much. Like I don't farm that many acres. Oh, it's worn here too. Here. So yeah, this piece here with the piece where the stationary knives come through goes to there. You can see the seam there. That's all one piece. And this part alone is just over $1,000. Now that I see that's worn, I probably should just replace it. I was just going to patch those holes. You can see the holes there. One there and one there. And same with that end. There's 3 holes. One there, one there, one there. I was just going to cheap out and patch it. There's another hole there. Like it's paper thin, right? So it's going to be tough to weld anything. You'll have to put a piece right up to here, and I don't know. Definitely doable, but like I say, I'm not even sure I'm going to keep this thing for next season. I'm hoping I can find something else. A different case combine. Not a 9250, that's for sure. That's too much money. But yeah, like you look at, I don't know, can you guys tell that it's coated in that canola oil? Or whatever that is? Might be hard for you to tell, but hang on. Like that's thick. Try something here. I guess it's not that thick on there. No, I just made it out of balance even more. But I don't know. I believe that's what's part of the reason what's going on. It just, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, look how much that slough's dried up. If we ever get harvest done and there's time, I'd like to bring the disc mower out here and mow all the way around this slough. It's a pretty big loop all the way around. You'd get a few bales out of here, that slough hay. Cows will pick through it. A few more years like this and that thing will be dried right up. Be farming right through it like we used to. But there's dust coming out of the combine now. Look the mirror there. It wasn't like that earlier today. I don't know if it dried up that much by now or what's going on, but she's dusty anyway. Well, we got a hopper off before dark here anyway. Sun's just going down. Sets early these days. It's only 6:30 or so, I think. Well, it's not quite set, but it's gonna go behind that hill right away. We may as well try get another hopper off. Okay, I just finished dumping. Just started my next pass. And I think that center canvas loosened off and stopped turning. I totally forgot. I never did fix that properly where we put zip ties on there to hold that one piece in to keep tension on it. Totally forgot about that. So I think the zip ties must have let go. And that piece slid out and the canvas loosens off, which doesn't turn now, right? So I guess for tonight, we'll throw some more zip ties on it. Try to get another hopper off tonight anyway. It's not quite dark. Get another hopper and then see how things are going after that or what the heck. But yeah, I'm sure the zip ties are popped off or broke off, I mean. So let's get some zip ties and see if we can keep going. Fix that properly tomorrow. Yep. Zip ties let go, she popped out, and slacks the canvas off. So let's fix her up quickly for tonight. Yep, we got her fixed there for now. I'll probably forget about them zip ties again, but whatever. It's an easy fix, so let's try to get another hopper off here. Well, the truck's full. Combine's starting to get low on fuel. The straw is not chopping as good anymore, so it's starting to get tough. I think it's time to shut down and go home. I didn't think I'd be getting the truck full tonight, so that's just a bonus. I thought maybe half full or something. So yeah, tomorrow morning that'll be what we'll do, unload the truck and then wait for that dew to come off again, because it'll probably be awfully dewy tomorrow morning. That's kind of why I kept going tonight as long as I could, sort of thing. I mean, I guess we could go unload the truck, come back and keep going, but no, I mean, we can get more fuel, but it's not chopping very good. You can hear the combine growling. I can see it's not feeding as good on the header, wet and sticky or something. I don't know. I think it's time to shut down. Yeah, I don't think tonight is the night to work late. Not tomorrow night, but the night after, I think. That's when the wind comes up throughout the day, and then I think the wind is supposed to blow all night. Not tomorrow, but the next night. So like, is that like Saturday night or something? What's that crackly one? So like Saturday night or something. I think the wind's supposed to be up. So maybe Saturday we'll give her shit and work late Saturday. How's this now? It's not really getting any worse. That's a good thing. But it just keeps cracking. Tomorrow morning, maybe we'll find the end of that crack and drill a hole. I got a comment today. I forgot about that little trick. Right at the end of the crack, if you drill a hole, it won't crack any further, they say. So we'll try that tomorrow in the daylight once we get the truck unloaded. Shoelace come undone. I feel my shoes really loose. Anyway, man, I hope the old girl keeps chugging along the next. Well, it'd be nice to get at least this quarter done before a breakdown, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I didn't think I'd get the truck filled tonight, so that's good. That's good. But I'm going home for the night. It's only 10. Feels weird going home early, but it's just, yeah, the canola wasn't even quite dry either. Like, I just kept going. It'll mix in with the dry stuff, I hope. But anyway, if you made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.